Hello there, everybody, and welcome. It is time for a new fortress. Welcome to Season 2 of the Banner of Shadows saga. This is going to be the second fort that I played for this culture that went nearly extinct before I saved them. They had only one measly little fort left that was here right next to a huge unfriendly goblin civilization, and we took our exodus down here to Sandwalls, the Arbit Heart. That's Season 1. You can watch the entire season. Link is down below in the description box, and enjoy what we did there. This place here is where we were building up our civilization anew, and Season 2 will be about a new and important step forward in the future of the Banner of Shadow. We're not playing the small forts here, the ones that will grow over time around our forts. We're going to build the important things. In Season 1, the humans of this faction here, they were really good allies. We even had a couple of people incorporated into our fort. Season 2 will be a fort that will pave its way deeper into the western areas where there's basically nobody to claim territory, and also sort of a crossroads for future relationships. Roleplay wise, I have decided that the humans don't want us to pick up any territory which is no savage wilds, untamed wilds. Because if we check out the Untamed Wilds spread, you notice a wonderful little thing that I made good use for. I was just picking up an idea like, this territory here, the people here, they claim that for themselves. They'd be very pissed if we'd claim that. And here you see it's all savage lands, Untamed Wilds. That's where the giant animals and all the people grow. So, we are going to build a fort in this little area here. And roleplay wise, I have decided that when it comes down to settling down in this vicinity, these green spots here, they are binding. These are basically the places that our geologists have placed out for us. Of course, I could min-max, optimize, and do things, but I found pleasure in working with what we got here. So, the challenge of our fortress here is that the entire lands here, the entire fields of Rising are devoid of metals. There's so nothing to find here that we got to work otherwise. And the other scenario challenge that I'm putting up for myself is we are going to work without cage traps, because I made up a story that the founding members, two of them, are absolutely strict believers in no animal cruelty things, and they consider cages to be absolutely horrible for anybody being caught in there, or so goes the story. Either way, cage traps are currently fundamentally broken and making things way too easy, and I think this is a fun way of finding other ways around that. So, I want to work in an area where we at least have a lot of wood to work with, so let's see if we find some interesting area, but place is looking flat like a pan. Yeah, well, I mean, we do have a bit of an elevation in that area, but apart from that, we could here either go into the savannah or into the shrubland. I personally vouch for the shrubland because I really like the idea of getting as far west as possible. All right, I think this spot will make will win its prize here. So here begins the story of our new fort. I have already prepared a setup here with all the characters included, with all the items and animals, but I need to configure the fortress name. I'm going to meet you all in a hot second when I have set that all up on the map itself. And here we go. Welcome to ROCKHOLD, the Gift of Shadow. This is going to be the fort. The name comes of a several couple of things. First off, ROCKHOLD, because we don't have any metal. This is going to be a fortress that's going to be mostly relying on rock, wood, and all the things that we can find in between. The Gift of Shadow, well, the culture I'm playing calls itself the Banner of Shadow, and the Gift of Shadow is well, a gesture towards the humans to show them we are respecting your borders and we're opening a friendly relationship here. So that's the idea of that. Now, we got our starting point here. The starting caravan is well equipped. We have several different types of cloth. We have a little bit of wood logs to begin with, so we can start right away off the bat. We got a couple of tools and all the usual expeditionary goods that you expect. Freshly produced from sandwalls and brought up to our brave view over here. Sandwalls looks really good on paper here. 400 people and a long list of artifacts. I really like to see that. Cannot raid your... no, that's... I for a second I thought a artifact was named cannot raid your civilization, but that is just the bottom line. No, here we are. So, the site government, I dubbed them the Emerald Gorge because it's green here, it's lowlands, and, well, just fine. I just like the sound of it. So, we got the main cast here. I will mark their names in between episode 1 and 2. They will be the main protagonists for the series. Their lives will matter more than other lives. We will try to bring them as high into the ranks of ROCKHOLD as possible and follow their everyday things as good as we can. So we have Captain Whale Mountain, a proficient miner and mechanic, so he can make ore mechanisms when he's not busy chucking stones. We have Adil Tinwood, an animal caretaker, one of the two people that are absolutely fond of the idea that no animals should be held in cages. Also happens to be the expedition leader. We have Fab Syrup Crafts, animal trainer. So there is, the second of these freaks, of these absolutely idealistic dwarves that want to show the world that they can do whatever they please. Proficient carpenter and appraiser is Thop Trade Blaze's business, and I really like the fact that my trader even is called Traded Blaze. Well done, Armok, well done. So we got Morul Glow Chips, our woodcutter and woodburner. I like to put these jobs together. Our Mason Id Cryptwim, I also made him the organizer, so this is our manager to be. And we got here Asmil Standard Board, our planter and bookkeeper to be. And so begins the story of ROCKHOLD, the Gift of Shadow. So, to give you a couple of things. The idea of this fort is going to be to build a nice and well-defended thing here. Alright, we want something that can fend off enemies well and nicely and all those things. A proper citadel. All made without cage traps and with, I guess, other traps that we are going to work around. And also, I want a logistical road network spanning over, of course, to sand walls, spanning over to the humans here, and spanning into the western regions, so expansion of a new fort can occur. Also, bonus points. A bonus objective here for this season is going to be to raid these two locations, at least, of the Great Torments, because these are our antagonists. These guys have captured our old home. That is what we're going to take back from them. So, let's actually start looking at the map. So I find Siltstone. Okay. I like what I see here. We are sitting on a real cool natural formation. Jeez. Oh boy, I like that. We also have a little bit of a few ponds here, so, well, don't think that this will be of much use. So, I already envisioned something here. We're going to build our castle on this thing here, right in the center of the map. It's a very, very nice spot. We're going to dig down here directly, and we are eventually, I guess, going to seal off this entrance here, and we're going to build a proper entrance into the fort somewhere around here with traps and all. Due to the fact that we can drill our way from above in here and then build the entrance afterwards. Ooh, I like that. This solves a lot of problems that I usually have. Okay, so let's see. The miners are already assigned. I want to assign the usual standing orders. No web collection, please. I want No dead people being claimed. And we don't let children do too much work. And only the farmers harvest. Alright. I think that should do the trick. Let's start the time. We've arrived here during the end of the year 106. So it's winter, all the water is frozen, stiff, and we're going to get ourselves something like that. I'm going to use this corridor later to connect it to the actual entrance, and currently we're probably going to litter the field with boulder traps. I don't know how to work around that. So let's go and dig ourselves a little bit of a new stairwell here. So there's the sand layer. And there's the clay layer. We have a lot of materials to work with. I like that. And what do we have next? The water layer. Okay. So I expected that. We are settling down on a light aquifer after all. So let's make use of our crafts dwarf ship. Let's set up a carpenter to make ourselves some blocks real quick, because to properly get through the aquifer, well, I haven't checked it out, but I assume it is no stone yet. Here, clay loam, yeah. We need to build ourselves some blocks. So, carpenter's workshop. We're going to chop over some chestnut, oak, and more chestnut. Let's see, is there any animals visible? Giant emus? These things are already scary enough in their normal size. Wow, that's... Oh, I forgot to mention, we are also not going to train any animals because of the lack of traps here. Training animals, I want to do that as a separate side objective of a fortress to come. I don't want to have too many things at once. Okay, we have a couple of logs, and we're going to get ourselves some blocks made. So every order finishes up 4 of these. We have to have 8 blocks to get the job done for that one level. So let's wait that out. It's much more efficient to work with blocks rather than logs, obviously. Alright. I figured that I want to make my way through the aquifer with on a wide staircase right from the get-go, because this will be probably one of the main stairwells of the entire civilization, and therefore let's make it a proper one that withstands a lot of transit. Probably need to expand on that one day in the far-fetched future, but for now I think this will work a charm. There we go. Quickly building up walls, and let's see how often we need to do that until we are through this place. Because I really don't want to build my city anywhere, if not in stone. Oh, that's a pleasant surprise. We've struck not only the rock layer, but also this demarcation shows me that the aquifer is only on this layer. This is the layer directly below. This is the layer you skip, because if we'd be digging here, the aquifer from above would drip through the ceiling, and here lies the foundation of ROCKHOLD. Wonderful. I'm really pleased that we have such a... I mean, that's just one layer of water. That's as good as it can get. Alright, so... outside here, I wanted to put up a pasture, but I suddenly now realize that we don't need to. You see underlichen spreading. That's because we have uncovered the caverns previously on the same continent. So we don't need to worry about that. Wonderful. So we're going to dig ourselves, as the very first thing, a nice, comfy little underground pasture. Safety for our animals. I like that. because we really do rely on the products of our animals to some degree. Okay. Wonderful. So the only thing we need to do is now to mark that as abandoned pasture area and never chop any trees on top of it. You can see already the underlay can grow. Grazing animals can't live off of that. So we have horses, goats, and sheep. These will all live on the pasture here. I hope the food will grow fast enough, but I guess so. If not, we're going to pasture them above once more. Then they can feed up themselves there. Okay, so that is really, really good news. So that means we're going to go now for the setup here. This is going to be clearly my agricultural area, because above we have water. This is the best way, the best place to set up farms. So the question though will be, how are we going to organize ROCKHOLD? I mean, there are several ways how to build a fortress. Let's have a look on the map once more before I draw two huge plans. So I think this thing will absolutely have to be above ground, several levels high. So that brings me right away to the point that I really don't want to have too much of the quality living space down below. I think these people here, they like to boast with the mountain they built on top of the hill. And, well, I mean, this little thing here is really taunting me to do something, but no. We're going to build our fortress on top of this natural area. That's what we're going to do. That means we are going to bring up a expeditionary quarter here in this area, which means this is going to be what a group of people would do. We are going to do the same thing. That sounds logical. We're going to set up a small area where everything started. In every village you have that. There's a village center place. So this is going to be where our story starts. This is going to be where these guys are going to make themselves at home. So we're going to make these rooms here right away. And let's carve a little bit into this way and make a couple of extra rooms happen. I can't imagine that everybody of these guys is running around right now and claiming dibs on the nicest places, you see. So this place, I want to make it look a little bit chaotic, a little bit like, yeah, that's how I want my dream home. You know, these guys, they left everything back where they came from, and Sandwalls has become a safe haven. You know, this is Sandwalls is no dangerous area anymore. This fort is absolutely safe, and therefore these people are looking for freedom. They're looking for some place where they can express themselves, where they can have inefficient room sizes, where they can just do whatever they please. That all being said, we are of course going to organize things a little bit, but here I just went a little bit freestyling here. It's a grand total of 7 rooms that we're going to go for here. Let's make that a loop. And let's say here is going to be the meeting hall of ROCKHOLD. Alright. That is very, very, very generous starting position-wise. I feel very happy about that. This is pretty much as good as it can get in my personal playbook. Now, let's see. I want to have a safe place to store my goods. we clearly will use this as our agricultural center. So that's going to be either a hall filled with workshops or a hall filled with stockpiles. Either way, the perfect starting point to just dump everything that we have collected so far and call it a day, basically. We need to fetch up a place where we can make ourselves food and drink as fast as possible. That's always, for me, the most pressing and urgent matters. But of course, digging out the starting area like that, maybe I am a little bit megalomaniac here with my starting area, but, well, we are living here in a lush and wonderful area. There's food to pick off the ground everywhere. We just need to set up the workshops and start foraging. That's all we need to do. So I'm taking it very chill here. This could be much worse, and therefore we can make ourselves at home properly. So this meeting area here is just going to be what it is, a meeting area. Because the moment you have a meeting area, people will no longer linger around your wagon. The wagon is always a meeting area. If you have no meeting area declared, this is your meeting area. Now, speaking about which, I want to have this place here relocated. So let's say expedition quarter. Let's call it like that. Alright. So here the people are chilling out while we are carving away on this hole. I want to have the obnoxious stockpile for everything here. I don't like it too much, as it is really not a good choice. We are going to immediately exclude stone and wood, because otherwise they'll start carrying all the boulders over there. Not my intention. I just want to have all the goods and wares that are dumped on the wagon down below in safety. And that's what we're going to do here. We are going to reconfigure this stockpile in a very short amount of time. But for starters, sometimes I really like to do this, as this really makes things easy to check out. Okay, let's keep up with the traditions of my previous seasons, and it's time for the dwarf of the day. And I think Adele Tinwood, she is the first person that we're going to take a close look at her, because, you know, it's after all her expedition. So Adele, she is a worshipper of Erdem, so that's going to be one of the first temples we're going to found. She's friends with all her people here. What's the difference between a long-term acquaintance and a friend? I guess how much you like them. Adele, she is frequently depressed. Oh, wow. She's very quick to anger. She does not easily fall in love and rarely develops positive sentiments. She's curious and eager to learn. She doesn't handle stress well. She is not inherently proud of her talents and accomplishments. She tends to be a bit stubborn in changing her mind about things, and she often feels envious of others. Wow, what a she sounds like a charming personality. Just the kind of guy, a girl you want to have as your boss. She tends to share her own experiences and thoughts with others, at least something. She's currently less private. She's often nervous. She sometimes acts without deliberation. And say, are you an OG character from another place? I mean, these are all effects that usually are happening, well, because of bad things happening around you. So I'm going to fire up between episode 1 and 2 my save file and of Sandwalls and check out if there is a Adele Tinwood running around there, because she looks, you see these yellow lines, these are only happening, as far as I know, if they are, well, under the effects of a fort that I have made. I'm very curious to find out what's the story about that. But either way, Adele, you are really one heck of a personality. She likes diorite, lead carnelian, green glass. Oh, Oh, yeah, perfect. Magpie leather, python tooth, giant lizard bone, giant pythons for their great size. She prefers to consume soft wheat beer and custard apples. She absolutely detests mosquitoes. Well, who doesn't? Alright, beautiful. Welcome, Adil. So, we're going to give her a new marker. So we had this for the previous season. So we're going to use this one for this season. Looks freaky enough. So, nah, that looks too freaky. I don't like it. Let's check out the other buttons. Wow. Oh yeah, I like that one. This is part of the Dwarf Fortress things that I know of. Alright, a deal. I'm going to mark all of the dwarves of the day, the main protagonists like that. And the fun part is everybody from season 1 had the asterisk. So if ever immigrants hit town with the asterisk, we know that we have protagonists migrating from the previous season. I'm so looking forward to that. Anyways, good. We have all that settled down. Let's set up another level down below and start building up the workshops. We need at least the still and the kitchen. These are the two most pressing matters at hand. So we also need to assign that the kitchen is not allowed to cook this. Oh, I like that. This must be the new version. This looked really grossly different before. Alright, what I did is I forbid the kitchen to cook directly with the plum helmets, because that way you wouldn't get any seeds out of it, and no seeds, no replenishment of your farms, and that is a really bad thing. So yeah. Let's set up the necessary stockpiles. This one is going to be for our booze, and this one is going to be for all the other food-related things. Yeah, it's really like that. Oh, see. And seeds. Seeds shall be stored somewhere else too. Okay, so there we go. Is the wagon empty already? Yep. So we're going to dislodge the wagon now, and we're going to delete the stockpile zone afterwards, and then we have the room back. All our goods are stored safely below ground, where they are supposed to be. There we go. People will still access that, but now they'll only use the other stockpiles. I like it that way. Okay, so we got all that out of the way. Let's see, we're going to go for a second working hall here for all the other things that we need. So that's going to be a huge job yet again, but I really want to separate my food production from all my other things that I have to do. It reminds me that you don't need that carpenter's workshop anymore. Your times are over. So let's set up a stoneworker, a carpenter, and as you see here, food and drink stockpiles are already diminishing fast. So we're going to do something against that, don't you worry. So they don't do me the favor to check out that area, but it is okay. All of these workshops are not meant to stay. I'm just going to clip together now all the things that we need to kickstart our civilization here. Stoneworker, mechanic, carpenter, crafts dwarf. These are, I think, all of the dudes that I need to get started here. I think that's it, yeah. Upstairs here, we're now going to set up a farmer's workshop here too, because it's always nice to have these going already. But I think, yeah, that should be doing the trick. Alrighty. So we got lots of siltstone to work with. So we're going to do the usual things that you need to do. We're going to make ourselves a throne, a couple of doors, maybe 2 thrones for 2 offices, and 7 beds. And with those 7 beds, I end episode 1, because it is now sadly time. So my good friends, I thank you all sincerely for watching. I really love what this site is already pointing towards too, and this is going to be some fun. Next episode we're going to explore the depths. We're going to set up the bedrooms for those fellas, and a lot of other good things will happen. I hope you're going to tune on in again. Leave me a comment down below. A thumbs up would be wildly appreciated, and consider subscribing. There's also, like I said before, the description box where you can see the entire Banner of Shadows saga, including the construction of sand walls. And you'll also find the other saga I did, the Savage Lands saga, which is 5 fortresses, and I basically did here a similar thing like I did here, but with less storytelling. So, well, you know, you get better the longer you do things. I'm more fond of what I'm doing here, but I hope you like them still. That all being said, you can also find my Discord or my Twitch channel, and Patreon, PayPal, or Buy Me a Coffee are there for you as well. I want to point especially towards the channel membership system here. I do pre-record usually quite a lot of these episodes, and I have a daily episode of Dwarf Fortress. And if you are a channel member, you can watch these before they get released. Of course, they will get released. I only time gate content. I don't paywall content because I'm a strong believer in free fun for everybody, and it's just a nice way if you'd like to binge watch these series. That's the way to go. Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching for especially all my self ads, and thanks for supporting the channel if you do. I deeply appreciate, and thanks for watching this video. I mean it. See you all on the next one. Bye bye.